Welcome to chapters 28 through 31 of Turning Pro, a book club on go.fsbb.io. We're going to be jumping into Pressfield's year of turning pro and the pain of being human. Let's get into it. My year of turning pro. I was 31. My year of turning pro. I was 31. I had saved up $2,700 and moved from New York City to a little town in Northern California. I rented a house behind another house for $105 a month. I had my old Chevy van, my Smith Corona typewriter, my cat, Mo. Every Monday, I walked into the village to the Bank of America and took out $25. That sum lasted me for the next 7 days. I didn't talk to anybody during my first year of turning pro. I didn't hang out. I just worked. I had a book in mind, and I had decided I would finish it or I would kill myself. I could not run away again, or let people down again, or let myself down again. This was it. Do or die. I had no TV, no radio, no music, no sex, no sports. I didn't even read the newspaper. For breakfast, I had liver and eggs. I was like Rocky. In the early mornings, I'd walk down to the river road to my friend Paul Rink's house, which was actually a camper shell mounted on a pickup. Paul was a writer. He had been a friend of Henry Miller's on Big Sur. Paul taught me what books to read and what writers to pay attention to. This is what I did at night. I read all the stuff that you're supposed to read in college but never do, or if you do, you're not paying attention. I read Tolstoy and Dostoevsky, and Turgenev, and Cervantes, and Flaubert, and Stendhal, and Knut Hamsun, and I read every American except Faulkner. I was riding on my ancient Smith Corona, which had a heavy carriage that physically shuttled back and forth as I typed. My cat, Mo, would curl up on my desk on the left side of the typewriter, so that the carriage would pass over his head back and forth as I typed. He didn't seem to mind. When I ran out of money at the end of my time, I went to pick apples in Washington State. That's when I met Dave and Jack. When the season was over, I had cleared $250 after paying rent, gas, and engine repairs. I drove south and got back to work on the book. One day, I typed, "The End." That's the moment in the war of art when I knew I had beaten resistance. I had finished something. The manuscript didn't find a publisher, and it didn't have. The manuscript didn't find a publisher, and it shouldn't have. It wasn't good enough. I had to go back to a real job in advertising in New York and save up again, and quit again, and write another book. That also didn't find a publisher because it also wasn't good enough. Neither were the 9 screenplays that I wrote over the next X years. I can't even remember how many before I finally got the first check for $35,000 and promptly went back to writing more screenplays that I couldn't sell. During that first year, I sometimes thought to myself, "Steve, you've got it lucky now. No distractions. You can focus full time." What are you going to do when life gets complicated again? In the end, it didn't matter. That year made me a pro. It gave me, for the first time in my life, an uninterrupted stretch of a month after month that was mine alone, and nobody knew about but me. When I was truly productive, truly facing my demons, and truly working my shit. That year has stuck with me. The pain of being human. I will say, just like Stephen Pressfield said in the beginning, if you remember, you will remember the year, just like 9/11. You will remember the year that you went pro. You will remember all the details. You will remember when you went pro. And I'll tell you mine. The first time I went pro was the first time that I read this, which was back in 2016 when I had finally finished my acquisition of my first startup. I was building out my first venture fund, and I was finally building the Bitcoin pub and going full-time into creating YouTube videos. That's when I took life seriously. It was like, I'm moving away from the consulting world that I know exceptionally well. I sold the business. I'm going into venture capital and Bitcoin full time, and I'm going to talk about it on YouTube. You know, that was it. I'll never forget it. 2016. That was my year of going pro. And it was like, even though I was pro before that, right, with my consultancy and building that for 9.5 years and then getting it acquired, like pro level stuff for sure. But this was 2016 was it, man. 2016 was like, I'm jumping off the cliff. I'm finally doing this for me. I'll never forget it. The pain of being human. The Gnostics believed that exile was an essential condition of man. Do you agree? I certainly do. The artist and the addict both wrestle with this experience of exile. They share an acute, even excruciating sensitivity to the state of separation and isolation, and both actively seek a way to overcome it, to transcend it, or at least to make the pain go away. What is the pain of being human? It's the condition of being suspended between two worlds and being unable to fully enter into either. As mortal flesh, you cannot ascend to the upper realm. That sphere belongs to the gods. But we can't put it out of our minds either. We can't escape imitations and half-memories of what? Some prior sojourn before birth, perhaps, among the immortals or the stars? Our lot instead is to dwell here in the lower realm, the sphere of our temporal and the material, the time-bound dimension of instincts and animal passions, of hate and desire, aspiration and fear. You and I are called to the upper realm, and it is a calling to us. But we're having a pretty good time sometimes down here in the sphere of our senses. Bottom line, we're marooned in the middle, stuck in the mobile, with the Memphis Blues again. If you'll forgive me for quoting myself, here's the passage from Killing Rommel. In the story, the poet and Oxford tutor Zachary Stein makes the distinction between two types of despair: Jewish despair and Irish despair. Jewish despair arises from the want that can be cured by surfeit. Give a penniless Jew 50 quid and he perks right up. Irish despair is different. Nothing relieves Irish despair. The Irishman's complaint lies not with his circumstances, which might be rendered brilliant by labor or luck, but with the injustice of existence itself. Death. How could a benevolent deity give us with life only to set up such a cruel term upon it? Irish despair needs no remedy. Money can't help. Love fades, fame is fleeting, only the cures are booze and sentiment. That's why the Irish are such noble drunks and glorious poets. No one sings like the Irish or mourns like them. Why? Because they're angels, imprisoned in vessels of flesh. It's not just the Irish. The pain of being human is that we're all angels, imprisoned in vessels of flesh. The addict seeks to escape the pain of being human in one of two ways: by transcending it or by anesthetizing it. Borne aloft by powerful enough chemicals, we can almost, if we're lucky, glimpse the face of the infinite. If that doesn't work, we can always just pass out. Both ways work. The pain goes away. The artist takes a different tack. She tries to reach the upper realm, not by chemicals, but by labor and love. When I say artist, I mean, well, the lover, the holy man, the engineer, the mother, the warrior, the inventor, the singer, the sage, and the voyager. And remember, addict and artist can be one and the same, and often are, moment to moment. If the upper realm is, as Plato suggests, the sphere of perfect love, truth, justice, and beauty, then the artist seeks to call down the magic of this world and to create, by dint of labor and luck, the closest to sublime simulacra of those qualities that he or she can. This pursuit produces for the artist peace of mind. I love the way he finished out this chapter. And this is actually the end of Book 1 of Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield. And what I love is that the end words, peace of mind, that's it. You receive, and I know this to be true, you receive peace when all has been aligned. Meaning, you know why you're here. You know your purpose. You know what you're good at. You know what you're great at. You know what you're bad at. You know what you're passionate about. You know what you're technically capable of doing. You understand your skill sets. You understand, like, you are self-aware to the nth degree. You've reached the highest level of human transcendence. And not everyone's going to be there. But I will tell you this. Not that I'm fully there, but I'm daggone pretty self-aware, my friends. Trust me. I know who I am. I know why I'm here. I know what I'm supposed to do. Frankly, part of this turning pro and going over this with you guys is part of that purpose for my life to serve. And so I have peace every single day that I wake up. I do not fight with the larger meta resistances of, like, what am I supposed to do? Who am I? Right? I don't struggle with these meta level philosophical, metaphysical ideas. Those things have been ground to a pulp in terms of understanding the details and nuances and idiosyncrasies and specificity of all of that as it pertains to my life. I know why I'm here. I know what I'm supposed to do. The hand of God is upon me, my friends. The only resistance that I fight is the daily resistance of delivering 12 videos a day or delivering 5. And today I'm choosing the former. We're going hard today, guys. So, of course, as you can probably imagine, I got a couple questions for you. Number 1, have you been trying to transcend your pain or anesthetize it? Speak freely here. Have you done that in the past? Have you tried to transcend your pain or anesthetize it through distraction, through addiction, through things like this? And number 2, how do you think you need to remove the pain of being human? That was the question here, right? The pain of being human is the fact that we have pain. We have desires. We have wants. We have this thing nagging at us that tells us, hey, we were built for something greater. We were built for that idea, that purpose that is calling to our souls. And maybe, just like we finished this first book here, a mind of peace. If you do not have peace, maybe this is what you're searching for. This is the pain of being human. You have not received your peace yet because you're not fully engaged. Heart, mind, body, soul, circumstance, family, money, focus, all of it into where you need to be. That's why we're here. Tell us your story. I'd love to read it on go.fsbb.io. We'll see you in the community, friends.